Although many relationships start off on a positive note with romance in the air, it's easy as the newness wears off to start taking each other for granted and to stop putting in the effort needed to stay connected.
However, according to our next guest, there are things that couples can do to keep their relationships strong. Dr. Bill Cloke is the author of the book Happy Together, Creating a Lifetime of Connection, Commitment, and Intimacy. He joins us now with tips that can help couples achieve lasting intimacy and enjoy a lasting relationship. Perfect timing for you today.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, romance is definitely in the air today and tonight for Jody, so this is good timing. So what are the 4 common barriers to intimacy in couples?
Well, the most common barrier is needing to be right, or needing to be able to win an argument, or being critical, or defensive, or stonewalling, or shutting down, or not wanting to listen. Those are the most common barriers to intimacy.
Those are hard things, though, because sometimes your pride gets in the way, and you don't want to fight, and you don't want to hold out to be right, but
that's right.
It's kind of human nature sometimes.
It's human nature. These are all natural responses. So our natural response is to push back. No, it's not me. It's them. You know, it's not my problem. I'm fine. You're wrong. I'm right. You know, those kinds of things. That's where we naturally go. So we have to kind of go a little bit counterintuitive and try to think, okay, wait a minute. What am I upset about? What's going on? What's she upset about? What can I do about it? What can we do about it? How can we make it better? What are the steps we can go through? So there's, you know, you kind of want to make conflict short and happiness long, you know, where you're really extending the good stuff and you use humor and goodwill and the ability to listen and connect. When couples fail, it's because they won't listen, because they won't hear one another. They won't try to see what the other person's point of view is.
Yeah, I just read a great quote in Jane Lynch's new autobiography, you know, Jane Lynch of Glee, and she said she was talking to a very well-known TV actor, and she was amazed at how nice he was on the set, and he said, I made a decision long ago in my relationships to either be right or kind, and I chose to be kind.
Right.
So I think it's just considering the other person and thinking about it.
Right. It's like I tell people, you can either be right or you can have a relationship. You sort of can't have both. You know?
I like that thinking. And you say that many couples miss the true significance of their conflicts. What do you mean by that?
Well, conflicts are often about things that are really, really important to the other person. In other words, when you're upsetting someone, it's really about something that's important to them. And if we take the time to find out what that is, and then we can understand it and kind of like, well, okay, I hear you, and then try to respond in some meaningful way. Well, what does that do to the other person? Well, they're like, hey, great, you know, oh,
you're listening.
They're getting it, they hear me, oh, they're trying, you know, and that creates a lot of love. So conflict can really be, you know, a great mechanism for developing a deeper, loving relationship.
Now, Doctor, you say that conflict is normal and resolution is an art. What are a few tips to help people deal with conflict?
Resolution is an art form because we want to make it efficient. We want to find out what's going on. We want to cool off. We want to acknowledge real quick, you know, what are you trying to tell me? Acknowledgement doesn't mean agreement. It just means we really kind of get what the other person's trying to say. Then if we can figure out, well, what can I do, and what can I do to make it better? And then people see that effort being made. You know, I use a concept called CURE, which is called compassion, understanding, respect, and empathy. Okay, if you're using one of those, you're going to be on the right track. Because compassion develops a sense of caring, understanding develops a sense of knowing, respect creates safety, and empathy creates connection. So if we're using those processes, we're probably going to be okay.
And that can translate into other areas of your life too, if you're having a conflict at work,
Across the board.
relationships, friend relationships. People come to me a lot and they said, oh, I just don't understand, he's so mad. And I go, well, what's he mad about?
Yeah, right.
Because his feelings are valuable,
right.
even if you don't agree. It's something that's making him angry.
Exactly, which is probably what you've learned in your 5 years of being married.
You're still working on it.
Here,
it's a work in progress.
I'll ask a question for Jody because she won't ask. Is it okay to ask for a timeout when you're having a conflict?
You have to.
To kind of separate
it's really
and
important
think about
to calm
it.
down.
Yeah.
Because nobody solves a problem when they're mad.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're mad, it's their problem, it's not you, it's blah, 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 all those kinds of things. You want to just be able to, look, let's take a moment here. Let's take a break. Because anger is complex. It could be about 5 or 6 different things. And anger isn't the point. The point is what's causing it. You know, anger is not the whole thing. It's just there are 5 or 6 things: hurt, you know, guilt, shame, sad stuff going on, loneliness, all kinds of things that can be creating the anger. So you want to stop and think about what's causing this, what's going on here. And then you can come in when you feel a little bit more calmed down. And in the middle of an argument, if it gets too hot, say, time out.
Yeah.
Take a minute.
Well, someone suggested one time too, because you're getting mad and the other person's rolling their eyes or whatever, they said, sit back to back and hold hands and talk, because you can't see the other person's face or rolling of the eyes. I'm like, that's kind of cool, because I don't want to see him rolling his eyes.
Yeah, well, if that works, cool.
There you go, see, we just gave you something
there.
So let's go over the 4 common barriers to intimacy again. We're going to pull up that graphic so our people, our viewers at home can see that. Not expressing feelings, not making time for each other, trying to change your partner, and not willing to work out the past. Doctor, you have some homework for our couples at home. What is it?
Yeah. Well, the homework is, really try to think about what you bring to the situation. What is your history? Where are you coming from? What kind of background do you come from? Like, if I was seeing a couple yesterday, and one member of the couple, she came from a household where everybody screamed and yelled. That's her way. So every time something happens, she screams and yells. The husband comes from a background where he was screamed and yelled at, he shuts down. So she screams, he shuts down. They're locked in this process. So you've got to be willing to kind of come forward and do something a bit different than what's been done and what you're used to.
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to come out of the fear, because most people are really afraid to express themselves, to bring out problems, to put things out on the table. And I really want to encourage people not to be afraid to put it out there.
Great
and
advice.
Open your heart and know that, okay, you might get hurt, but you might not.
Yeah.
So be willing, be generous in a situation. It's like, you don't have to agree with every single point. Give them the point of view. Yeah, I hear your point of view, and I'm willing to do something about it. I'm willing to step up. And people really get loved in relationships because they're the kind of people that are worthy of being loved. So you've got to work on the kind of person you are. You can't be a mean, critical, shaming, blaming guy and expect, or a woman, and expect, love to come. So kind of who we are does contribute a lot to what goes on.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Bill Cloke, PhD, author of Happy Together, Creating a Lifetime of Connection, Commitment, and Intimacy. Check out his book. Thank you, sir, for being on the show.
You are welcome.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Great
It's been a pleasure.